I just saw your text. Are you here? Okay. Check. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Everybody able to hear me well today? To the radio. Is it right now? It's not terrible, but you can see it. I was to say, if you need to get it lower. Yeah. We are here at Washington High School, home of the Patriots, for the Berkeley Springs Indians' second game of the season. We're about 2 minutes away from kickoff. Here's your offensive starters for your Berkeley Springs Indians. At quarterback, number 5, junior, Gavin Barkley. Running 34, senior, Peyton Thompson. Antonio Sanchez will be wearing number 12 this week. He's a junior. Wide receiver 3, sophomore, Hunter Ambrose. Wide receivers are number 7, Tymir Ross, number 17, Carlester Allen. For your linemen today, at center is going to be number 70, Cole Bernard, number 64, Zach Wharton, number 70, Jaden McCartney, number 60, Adam Sharp, number 67, Fleetwood White, and number 40, Jimmy Williams. captains are out there ready for the coin toss now. Field. 2. Washington will be in all red. Berkeley Springs, blue helmet, white jersey, and blue pants. It's like back to return. Ball snapped here to Wogan. Wogan cuts up the middle of the field now. He will be stopped here. He gets pushed backwards, but he will get a couple yards for forward progress. And there was Hunter Ambrose and Evan Thompson on the tackle. We'll bring up 2nd and 8 ball on the 44-yard line for Washington. At Washington High School in Charlestown, West Virginia. Play clock down to 15 seconds now. One wide receiver to the far side. Berkeley Springs. Ball in there, and it looked like it will be scooped up as there was a little miss snap there. So that'll bring up 3rd and long as they lost a yard due to the fumble. 3rd and 9 ball on the 44. 7:15 to go here in the first quarter. That's Frankie Amore back in the game now at quarterback. Time here, Washington has 3 wide receivers. Sends a man in motion. Another bad snap, and it goes way back there, and it's still going. Ball way back, and it looks like it'll finally be recovered. So that'll bring up 4th and way long. Looks like Washington fell on the ball there. Recovering it for the Patriots was Joseph Roble. So 2 bad plays there for Washington helps out the Indians. .6:25 to go here in the first. Scoreless, ball now on the 27. It is 4th and 37. On to kick now is Griffin Price for Washington. Here comes the punt. There's a high one calling for a fair catch. It's Kymir Ross, and he will get it caught right there just before the 40. It looks like at the 37-yard line, and that is where Berkeley Springs will start their first drive of the evening. Okay. Trying to fix the camera here, just mixed with the sun and the windows here, trying to see what our best option is. 1st and 10 for the Indians, 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Ball on the 38-yard line. 3 wide receivers here to the near side, 1 to the far. Barkley gets the snap, pitches it over to Peyton Thompson. Peyton Thompson now are on the outside. The horse collar tackled, so that will help Berkeley Springs. Gained about 6 yards, but with the flag, it'll tack on more for the Indians. Flag is on Washington, so now it'll be 1st and 10 for the Indians on the 40-yard line of Washington. 5:30 to go here in the first. 3 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side here. Barkley in shotgun formation, Peyton Thompson to the right. Barkley, low snap, looking over to his left, has to scramble now, tries to get rid of it to Peyton. Peyton catches it now. Thompson cutting upfield, makes a couple people miss, trying to go to the middle, and he will get tackled now. Not before gaining a couple yards. Colton Childress in there on the tackle. Second down for the Indians. Ball on the 33. It is 2nd and 3. Scoreless here in the first. 4:50 to go. Gavin Barkley at quarterback. Peyton Thompson to his right. Evan Thompson behind him. Hands it off to Evan, who cuts up the outside here. He's got space. Evan Thompson gets a block, and he will pick up a first down for the Berkeley Springs Indians inside of the red zone. The 1st and 10 here, 4:25 to go. So far, a good opening drive here for the Indians. First and 10, ball on the 16. 4:10 to go here in the first. Evan Thompson and Peyton Thompson in the backfield now. 3 wide receivers to the far side. Evan Thompson, direct snap, read option. Next man miss, and it will be tackled out of bounds here by Joseph Roble, the defensive back from Washington. That'll bring up second and about 5 or 4 yards here. 3:45 to go in the first. Both teams relying heavily on the run. 2nd and 4, ball on the 16 for Berkeley Springs. Back into the game now. Quarterback is Gavin Barkley. 1 wide receiver to each side. 3 running backs back there. Barkley looks for the goal line fade. And he will be pushed off and intercepted by Washington in the end zone. Frankie Amore in there on the interception, so Berkeley Springs' first throw of the evening intercepted, and that'll stop the chances for the Indians. So now Washington with the ball here, 3:19 to go. Ball on the 20-yard line for the Patriots. Still scoreless here in the first quarter. So Frankie Amore doing it all there at quarterback, and now at defensive back getting an interception. Amore in shotgun formation. Snap. Cuts it up the middle now. Has a couple people blocking for him. He's stopped by Tymir Ross as a couple other Indians get in on the help. He will gain about 8 yards, 7 or 8, so that'll bring up second and short here. 3 minutes to go in the first. Be 2nd and 2 for Washington. More in the huddle now. Zach Wharton in at center. Shotgun formation for Amore. Another read option trying to get his blockers. So Sean Lord there in the backfield setting the edge, and he will wrap him up. That'll be a loss on the play. Sean Lord and Antonio Sanchez in there on the tackle. That'll bring up 3rd and 4. 2:20 to go here in a very fast starting first quarter. Only 1 throw so far, and that was by Berkeley Springs, which resulted in an interception. So 3rd and 5, ball on the 25-yard line for Washington. Ball snapped, and it off up the middle. We have a flag as well, as it'll pick up the first down, but we'll wait to see what the flag is. Holding on Washington, so that will negate the first down run and bring up 3rd and long. Minute 55 to go here in the first. 3rd and 15 in the scoreless quarter. Berkeley Springs now guarding the line. 3 wide receivers to the far side. Frankie Amore alone in the backfield. Ball snapped, bobbles it a bit, dropping back to pass. Decides to keep it and run himself. Cuts up the outside. Peyton Thompson will stop him, though, so that will bring up 4th down. Minute 30 to go here in the first now. It'll be 4th and 8 for Washington. Another flag in on the play as well. Looks like the flag was declined, so that'll bring up 4th down. Back now to return is Tymir Ross. Back to punt is Griffin Price for Washington. Minute 20 to go here in the first quarter. Low snap. And a high punt. Ross will catch it at the 49, cut around the outside now, and he'll be tackled after gaining 3 yards, but still on the defensive side of the field. So great field position to start here for Berkeley Springs in their second drive. First and 10 here for Berkeley Springs. So first and 10, ball on the 49-yard line. A minute 7 to go here in the first quarter. Still scoreless between Berkeley Springs and Washington. Berkeley in shotgun formation. 3 receivers here to the near side. Sends Thompson in motion. Hands it off to Evan Thompson. Evan Thompson now. Gain a couple yards after the handoff. That'll bring up 2nd and 9. So we're under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Evan Thompson now exits the game. Barkley in shotgun formation. Thompson to the right. 2 wide receivers to each side. 30 seconds to go. Quick screen pass to Sean Lord. Sean Lord makes a man miss. Cuts around the outside now. And he'll be pushed out of bounds by Fleming. But he'll get a first down for the Indians. 25.9 seconds to go here in the first quarter. They say he was pushed out a yard short, so that'll be 3rd and 1 now. Ball on the 40-yard line for Berkeley Springs.
All right, boys, big stop here. Let's go.
Cole Bernard in at center. Barkley puts Thompson to his left now. Hands it off to Evan Thompson. Evan Thompson picks up the first down and a couple more yards. So that'll bring up 1st and 10 for Berkeley Springs as Thompson is tackled by multiple Patriots. 18.5 seconds to go here in the first. Berkeley Springs still in the huddle. They can try to run a play here as there's 10 seconds left, or they'll just let the quarter go. Well, it looks like that's what they're going to do as Gavin's just standing here now, and that will be the end of the first quarter. 0-0 here at Washington High School. Very quick first quarter here, as only 1 pass has been thrown, and that one was towards the end zone intended for Tymir Ross. Yeah, you said it was just glitchy. It's good. First and 10 for Berkeley Springs as we start the second quarter here. Barkley, it's over to Tymir Ross for a wide receiver screen. And he'll be stopped around the line of scrimmage there by multiple Patriots there on the far side of the field. So another wide receiver screen here for Berkeley Springs. I'll bring up 2nd and 9. Ball on the 37-yard line. Play clock at 20, 11:30 to go. Still scoreless here between Washington and Berkeley Springs. Read option here for Evan Thompson, and they read that perfectly. He is tackled way back there. And there on the tackle is Colton Childress, the linebacker. Evan Thompson not usually in a quarterback, which typically would mean a run, and Washington read that perfectly, so that'll bring up 3rd and long. Ball on the 44-yard line now, 3rd and 16 is what it is. Evan Barkley back in at quarterback, 2 wide receivers to each side, sending Sean Lord now to the near side. Barkley drops back to pass, looking to this side, rolls out to his right, trying to find an open receiver. Still waiting, decides to throw it here, and it'll be caught here by Tymir Ross. 1st down, Indians. Ross got separation there. He's trying to keep his feet moving to get Barkley an open receiver. That helps Berkeley big time. 10-19 to go here in the first. 1st and 10, ball on the 16-yard line of Washington. 10 seconds to go now on the play clock. Barkley in shotgun formation. Sends a man in motion. Hands it off to him. And he will be stopped in the backfield as the entire defensive line of Washington bullied the offensive line of Berkeley Springs. So that'll bring up 2nd and long now. So it'll be 2nd and 16, ball on the 22 for Berkeley Springs. 9:30 to go here in the second quarter. 3 wide receivers here to the near side, 1 to the far side. Gavin Barkley in shotgun formation. Peyton Thompson to his right. Ball snapped. Another big blitz here. Peyton Thompson, though, with a screen. He's got open field now, and he will be tackled just short, but we also have a flag here. Flag will be around the 5-yard line, and it looks like it'll be a holding against Berkeley Springs there on the screen pass by one of the receivers. We'll wait to see what it is officially. Holding is on Berkeley Springs. So it'll still be 2nd down and so even though the holding was called, still gained some yards. Barkley, it's the snap now. Rolls to his right, trying to find somebody to throw to, but he will be sacked as nobody was blocking for him there in the middle. 2 guys in there. Ethan Pezzi was one of them for Washington. That'll bring up 3rd and 13. 8.5 to go here in the second quarter. $8:15 to go here. 10 seconds left on the play clock as Berkeley Springs breaks the huddle. Berkeley in shotgun formation. Tymir Ross, the receiver here to the near side. Ball snapped. Drops back to pass. Looking for somebody open. Can't find anybody. Trying to get people moving. He's still back there. He just chucks it off his back foot, and it'll be caught by Berkeley Springs, but not enough for a 1st down. So that'll bring up 4th down here, but it might be in field goal range for the Indians. Let's see what they do. 7:52 to go here in the second quarter. Ball on the 21-yard line. Looks like they're going to go for it. 4th down and long as the pass was called incomplete. Barkley dropping back. Rolls out to his right. Throws it into the end zone. It'll be caught by Evan Thompson. Touchdown, Indians. 7:40 to go here in the second. 6-0 Berkeley Springs. 7:41 to go. 20-yard touchdown pass from Gavin Barkley. Dylan Bailey on to attempt the extra point now. Here's the kick. And the kick is to the left, no good. So the score will remain 6-0. 7:41 to go here in the second. Berkeley Springs leads the Washington Patriots. First lead of the season for the Berkeley Springs Indians. As they decided to go there on fourth down. So we await here for Berkeley Springs to get ready to kick off. It'll be Dylan Bailey on the kick for the Indians. Two guys back to return now for Washington. Bryson Fleming is one of them. He'll be lined up on the 10-yard line now as the opening kickoff from Dylan Bailey was a short one. Both teams ready now to resume the second quarter. Berkeley Springs leading 6-0. Don't forget, for those of you watching, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Here's the kick. It is high. It'll be returned at the 20-yard line. Whistles are blown there. And it looks like there was a fair catch called by one of the guys, so now they're waiting to see what it will be. So 7:39 to go here in the second quarter. Berkeley Springs leads. And due to returning it after calling a fair catch, it'll back them up. The 1st and 10, ball on the 20-yard line for Washington. And in motion, here's the option up the middle now. It'll be stopped by Tymir Ross after a couple-yard gain. So that'll bring up 2nd and 7 now for Washington. 7:20 to go in the second. Ball on the 23-yard line. One wide receiver here to the near side. Ball snapped low. It'll be another option for Amore. Amore on the outside now, and he'll be dropped just shy of the 30 by Evan Thompson. So that'll bring up 3rd and 1. 6:50 to go here in the second. $6:30 to go. Washington now breaking the huddle.
All right, here we go.
Looks like it is Tommy Wogan there in the backfield now. Here's a snap now for Wogan. Looks like he'll pick up the first down, make a couple people miss, and will be tackled just past the 35 around the 36 or 37-yard line. So that'll be first down for Washington High School. 6:10 to go here in the second quarter. First and 10, ball on the 31 for Washington. Looks like Amore back in. Another speed option here for the quarterback keeper, Frankie Amore. Will pick up big yards, and he will be stopped here right at the 45, and it will give him a first down again. There'll be a timeout now for Berkeley Springs, first of the half. With 5:30 exactly to go here in the second quarter, Berkeley Springs leading 6-0 over Washington. Evan Thompson, 19. A lot of runs here so far for Washington. Quarterback keepers. Direct snaps to running backs. So far, though, Berkeley Springs up 6-0. Ball, when we resume, will be on the 46-yard line for Washington. It'll be a 1st and 10. So we wait here for both teams to come out. So we get ready to restart back here as Berkeley Springs finishes the timeout. Both teams will come back out to resume action. 5:30 to go in the second. 6-0 is your score. Indians lead Washington. 1st and 10, ball on the 46.
Neutral zone. Neutral zone. Gotta be in it, Jimmy.
Here's a snap. Fleming now on the outside. He's at the 30, at the 20, and he'll be brought down around the 10-yard line by far lefter Allen. Big play there for Washington, and that brings the Patriots fans on their feet and gives them life. First and 10, ball on the 10, 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Big run there by Bryson Fleming. Snap to Morey is bobbled, and it'll be recovered by Berkeley Springs. Sean Lord almost had it, but it came out of his hands, and another guy comes in to rescue the Indians. So after a big play there by Washington, it'll be recovered by Evan Thompson, and Berkeley Springs will now have the ball. 1st and 10 for the Indians now, 4:49 to go in the second. Things looked really dangerous after that play. Big run there by Bryson Fleming. But another bad snap by Washington saves the Indians. Ball now on the 27-yard line for Berkeley. Gavin Barkley in shotgun formation. He's a man in motion and tosses it to Peyton Thompson. Peyton Thompson makes a couple people miss. He will be tripped up there. Trying to see who was in there on the tackle. Ethan Quigley in there on the tackle, so that'll bring up 2nd and 4, ball on the 33-yard line, 4:20 to go here in the second quarter. Berkeley Springs still leads 6-0. Gavin Barkley in shotgun formation, 2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near, running back behind him. Snap, hands it off to the running back who comes up the middle. Now it looks like he will pick up a first down. Trying to see who that is now in that running back. It looks like it is Evan Thompson in there on the run. Big day for him so far as he had the 20-yard touchdown catch to give the Indians the lead early on in the quarter. So that'll be 1st and 10, ball on the 39-yard line, 3:46 to go here in the second. Same formation as last play. Sends man in motion for Barkley. Low snap. And he will just fall directly on it. Smart move there by Gavin Barkley. That'll bring up 2nd and long, though. Second and 15 now, ball on the 34, 3:10 to go. 15 seconds on the play clock as the Indians break the huddle. 3 wide receivers here to the near side. It'll be Sean Lord, Antonio Sanchez, another one. He looks to this near side on the out route, but it'll be underthrown. Pass intended there for Sean Lord. That'll bring up 3rd and 15 now for the Indians. I'd like to thank everybody watching and make sure to please subscribe. I know last week we said that if we got to 1,000, it would give us the ability to broadcast via phone for YouTube. We figured out a way to do that anyway, but still, if you do subscribe, you'll get alerts on when we are broadcasting games, whether it's JV or varsity or maybe eventually any other sports. But we thank those for watching. 3rd and 15 now. Ball on the 34, 2:52 to go here in the second. Ball snap, pump fake, and we have multiple flags there on the play. Was it on? So it's a false start on the Indians, but the referee, originally when he did the false start motion, pointed towards Washington, so a bit of confusion there. That'll bring up 3rd and 20, 2:40 to go here in the second. Berkeley Springs up 6-0. Ball now on the 29-yard line. 2 wide receivers to each side of Barkley. Running back to his left. Ball snap, Barkley drops back to pass. Chucks it deep. Will be tipped up. Berkeley Springs looking for some pass interference, but nothing called. He was double teamed there, and that'll bring up 4th down. But we do have a flag there around the 40-yard line, and it looks like it's going to be on Washington. I'll wait to see what the white hat says. Holding on Washington. So that'll bring up 3rd and 10. Thompson now. Low snap. Hands it off. But he will be swallowed up immediately. Interesting call there by Berkeley Springs as it was 3rd and 10 and decided to run the ball. So that'll bring up 4th and 10 now. 1:55 to go here in the second. Berkeley's still leading 6-0. The timeout will be called now for Washington. Their first of the half. Berkeley Springs still leading here in the second quarter. Their last drive resulted in a 20-yard touchdown catch from Gavin Barkley to Evan Thompson. So we're here at Washington High School. AAA versus AA. So far, so good for the Indians, though. Indians last week took on Kaiser. That one was a 61-33 loss. Washington last week lost to Spring Mills 55-42. Washington's next game will be against last week's opponent for Berkeley Springs in Kaiser. And then Berkeley Springs will take on its rivals, Frankfort, next week at home. 4th and 10. Dylan Bailey on the punt now for Berkeley Springs. Here's the snap. It's a high one, but short. They'll bounce at the 30-yard line and roll to the 29. So Washington will get the ball with 1:44 to go here in the second. But the score is still 6-0, Berkeley Springs. It'll be interesting to see here with having to go 71 yards to the end zone. Washington, a run-heavy team. Minute 44, 1st and 10. Washington making a couple substitutions now. Ten seconds on the play clock. 3 people in the backfield. No wide receivers. And it looks like somebody jumped on the line for Berkeley Springs. Encroachment on the Indians, so that'll make it 1st and 5 now. Ball now on the 34. Saw that a lot last week by Berkeley Springs, not so much today. The second one of the afternoon, or of the evening, excuse me. So 1st and 5, ball on the 34. Ball snapped. Here's the option. Cuts up the middle. Still on his feet, breaking a couple tackles, and that'll be a 1st down for Tommy Wogan, as it looks like his progress was stopped there after a 3-yard gain, but he kept his feet churning. Picked up a big gain, so it'll be 1st and 10 here. Ball on the 47-yard line, a minute 30 to go. Berkeley Springs needs to get ready. Sends a man in motion. Keeps it himself. Amore on the outside now. Gets a couple blockers. And he's down the sideline. Nobody's going to catch him. 20, 10, touchdown, Washington. Frankie Amore with the quarterback keeper. Their first of the evening. The score is now tied 6-6. A minute 16 to go here in the second quarter. 53-yard run there by Frankie Amore, the senior quarterback from Washington. Griffin Price on to attempt the extra point and give Washington the lead. Here's the snap. Kick is up. That kick right down the middle and good. So with a minute 16 to go here in the second quarter, Washington High School now leads 7-6. So now on to kickoff for Washington is 24, Griffin Price. Back to return for the Indians is Tymir Ross and Evan Thompson. They will be lined up at the 20-yard line. 7-6 is your score now after that 53-yard touchdown run by Frankie Amore for Washington. Berkeley Springs still has 2 timeouts here in the half. And they will also get to receive in the second half to start. Still in the second quarter now, minute 16 to go. Here's the kick from Price. A high one. Looks like will be returned here by the Indians. Cutting up the middle now is Tymir Ross. Still on his feet. Now getting pushed back, and he will be stopped around the 37-yard line, and that's where Berkeley Springs will start their drive. Minute 9 to go here in the second quarter. Washington leading 7-6. First and 10, ball on the 36 for Berkeley Springs. Gavin Barkley in shotgun formation. 3 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. 1 running back to his left. Here's the snap. Dropping back to pass is Barkley. The screen pass to Peyton Thompson. Flag is also thrown. Peyton Thompson making a couple people miss. He's at the 50 trying to cut around the outside. And he is stopped now as he gets to the 40-yard line. But there is a flag there in the backfield. So even though that big gain by Berkeley Springs looks like it's going to be all for nothing. Holding on the Indians, 57.6 seconds to go. So instead of a big first down there by Peyton Thompson, it's going to be first and long. First and 20. Ball on the 26 now as Washington leads Berkeley Springs 7-6 here in the second quarter. 57.6 seconds to go. Play clock starts now. Barkley in shotgun formation. Since Thompson in motion. Low snap, bobbled, and he just tosses it back to Thompson. He'll be tackled after a couple-yard gain, so that'll bring up second down. And Berkeley Springs calls a timeout. So that is Berkeley Springs' second timeout of the half. They will have one remaining. 48.3 seconds to go. Ball on the 27 now, so that'll be second down. And 20. Berkeley Springs was leading for a couple minutes there in the second after a 20-yard touchdown catch by Evan Thompson from Gavin Barkley. A couple drives later, Washington, in their most recent drive, had a 53-yard touchdown run by Amore, and that's where we are now, 7-6. The only difference, an extra point. Berkeley Springs was rushed a little bit there on their extra point attempt. It just went left. And Griffin Price's extra point for Washington was right down the middle. So second and 20 now, 48.3 seconds to go. Ball on the 27. Berkeley Springs, after the timeout, was still missing a man. Antonio Sanchez comes in here at wide receiver. Berkeley sends a guy in motion. Drops back to pass now. Throws it to the outside. It'll be caught. Big hit, though. As Tymir Ross catches it and immediately gets leveled. 39.1 seconds to go. Now it looks like another timeout will be called. Timeout on Berkeley Springs. That's their final timeout of the half. So 39.1 seconds to go. It'll be 3rd and 5. So that was a 15-yard pass from Gavin Barkley to Tymir Ross. Both teams back out here now. 39.1 seconds to go in the second quarter. Berkeley Springs ball. 3rd and 5. Ball on the 42. 7-6 is your score. Washington leads. Ball snap. Barkley dropping back to pass. Throws it up the middle, but it'll be behind Evan Thompson. As he was open for the first down. But that'll bring up 4th down instead. 34.4 seconds to go. Let's see what Berkeley Springs elects to do. Looks like it'll be Dylan Bailey on the punt now for Berkeley Springs. Here's the snap. This one's a boomer. He bobbled here at the 15. Tymir Ross tries to slow him down. It's a couple blocks now. He'll be tackled here at the 25-yard line. Back there to return was Bryson Fleming. So 22.5 seconds to go. Washington has another opportunity to score here in the first half. First and 10 ball in the 25. Here's another run by Washington, right up the middle. There goes Frankie Amore, another one. He's at the 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Washington. Another quarterback keeper. 13-6 now. Washington leads, 10.3 seconds to go. Second touchdown of the evening. On to attempt the extra point now is Griffin Price. As we have a flag here, and it'll be encroachment on Berkeley Springs. .3 seconds to go. 13-6 is your score. And Washington now will go for the 2-point conversion. Here's a run up the middle, and he will be stopped. Looks like in there on the tackle will be Sean Lord, so the 2-point conversion, no good. And that'll make it just a touchdown game for Berkeley Springs. 13-6 to go. That's your score, 10.3 seconds to go, excuse me. Griffin Price now here to kick off. 10.3 seconds to go. Two Indians back to return. Here's the kick from Price. It's a split kick. It'll be returned here by Sean Lord. Sean Lord tries to make a man miss. But now he's just getting swarmed up, so there will be 4.4 seconds to go. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Indians. But only 4.4 seconds to go. They have no timeouts. They do get the ball to start the second half. Let's see what they decide to do here. .15 seconds on the play clock. 3 wide receivers here to the near side, 1 to the far side. Ball handed off, and it looks like it'll just be a run to end the half here. So at the end of the second quarter, it'll be Washington with a 7-point lead. The score 13-6. Washington over Berkeley Springs.
They test.
Check, 1, 2, just checking to see if everybody can hear me. We're getting ready to start the second half. They're going to add probably 3 more minutes anyway after these 2 minutes, so just want to make sure everybody can hear. Should be able to hear me as well as the Cotton Eye Joe right now. If anybody can comment to see if they can hear me. All right, thank you, Russell.
That's Mr. Meadows.
Alrighty, we're back here to start off the second half. 13-6 is your score. Washington leading Berkeley Springs. Washington will be kicking off, though, to the Indians. It's Berkeley Springs, here as a quick recap of the first half, scored about midway through the second quarter off a 20-yard touchdown pass from Gavin Barkley to Evan Thompson to make it 6-0 as the extra point was no good. And then a couple drives later, Washington made it 7-6 off of a 53-yard run by quarterback Frankie Amore. Berkeley Springs had the ball with 40 seconds to go, had to punt, and then with 20 seconds to go, big play by Frankie Amore again. That one was around 70 yards or so. I have to see officially what it was. I'll get that number hopefully here soon. But then they went for two because of an encroachment penalty originally on the extra point, and the 2-point conversion was no good. So we are here at 13-6. 75-yard touchdown run was the second one by Frankie Amore. That's what we have here. So thank you to everybody else here in the press box. On the kickoff here is Griffin Price for Washington. Two guys back to return for Berkeley Springs is Tymere Ross and Evan Thompson. Kick is short, bobbled, and recovered by Washington. So a surprise onside kick to start the second half, and Washington will get great field position. That ball went underneath an Indian and into no man's land and recovered immediately by Washington. It looks like in there to recover it was Ethan Cockrell. So it'll be 1st and 10 ball on the 41-yard line for Washington. First and 10. One wide receiver here to the near side. Everybody else there in the backfield for Washington. Ball snapped and bobbled. Picks it up as Amore running to the outside here. Makes a couple people miss. Had great blocks, and Amore, first play of the half, 3rd touchdown of the game. Frankie Amore, 41-yard touchdown run, 19-6. 11 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. They finally found something that Berkeley Springs can't stop, and they just keep going. 36 yards officially on the run. So 36-yard run, 19-6 is your score. 3rd touchdown for Frankie Amore. Griffin Price on to attempt the extra point. Here's the kick, and it is up and good. So the score with 11 minutes to go in the 3rd, Washington 20, Berkeley Springs 6. But Washington here, with all the momentum, Berkeley Springs needs to figure something out, and quick if they want to stay in this game. Down by 14 are the Indians now. Griffin Price getting ready to kick off here on the 40. So back to return for Berkeley Springs. Evan Thompson there on the far side of the field. Tymere Ross here on the near side. As to start the second half, Washington kicked off, but it was a surprise onside kick in which they recovered. Let's see what happens here. Griffin Price. Another onside kick. Recovered by Washington again, but let's wait to see what happened. It looked like it might have hit a Patriot leg before it went 10 yards. It looks like a couple guys are talking here. So I could not hear what it was, but it will be Berkeley Springs ball. Asking if it was offsides or did it hit a guy's leg. Okay, so it's a re-kick here now. So it was an offsides here on Washington, so it'll just be a re-kick here at the 35-yard line. Back-to-back onside kicks. Berkeley Springs still in regular return mode here, though. Hopefully they are prepared for this. 20-6 is your score here in the 3rd quarter. Griffin Price on to kick off. A lot of Indians up now, ready for it. Here's the kick. He kicks it deep this time. Evan Thompson has to go way back. It'll bounce. He'll catch it up to 10, turn around, make a couple people miss. He's on the outside now. Race to tackle. Now it looks like he will be tackled just shy of the 25 here around the 23-yard line, and that's where Berkeley Springs will start its first drive of the second half. So 20-6 is your score, 10:49 to go here in the third. It'll be 1st and 10 for Berkeley Springs, ball on the 23. Gavin Barkley and a quarterback. 2 wide receivers here to the near side, 2 to the far. 1 running back in the backfield with him. 9 seconds on the play clock. Ball snap, drops back the pass, looking here to the near side. Pass intended for Evan Thompson goes over his head. Incomplete. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 now. Second and 10, ball on the 23, 10:43 to go in the third. Berkeley Springs down 2 touchdowns to Washington. Both teams seeking their first wins of the season. Barkley sends man in motion. Snaps high and bobbles it. He has to keep it himself, and he decides just to go down as it was an all-out blitz there by Washington. So that'll bring up 3rd and long for the Indians. Not a good start to the second half here for Berkeley Springs. It'll be 3rd and 17, 10:20 to go here in the third. Ball on the 16-yard line. Play clock down to 15 now as Berkeley Springs making some substitutions. 10 seconds to go here. 3rd and 17. 5 seconds to go here on the play clock. Berkeley Springs still getting lined up. And he did not get the snap off in time. So that's going to be a delay of game on Berkeley Springs. And I'll make it a 3rd and 22 now. Ball on the 11. Third and 22, 9:50 to go here in the third. Ball snapped here. Barkley dropping back the pass. Looking for an open guy. Throws it down the middle. It is caught. It will be tackled around the 22-yard line. It looks like that was Evan Thompson in there on the completion. So that'll bring up 4th down for Berkeley Springs. And 6. 9:20 to go. Looks like Berkeley Springs making some substitutions here. Let's see what they do. Looks like they're electing to punt. So 9 minutes to go here. 4th and 6. Ball on the 27. 20-6 is your score. Washington leads Berkeley Springs. Ball snapped. It's a bad one. Dylan Bailey has to figure out what to do. He has to run it. Throws it into the air. It is on the ground now. We're waiting to see what goes on. Now it looks like they're saying that the pass will just be incomplete. So that'll be a turnover on downs. So that'll be 1st down back here on the 27-yard line for Washington. It's a great field position for the Patriots. Fortunately enough, Dylan Bailey's throw was ruled as a pass, so instead of the ball being inside of the red zone, it's 7 yards outside of it. So 1st and 10, ball on the 27 for Washington. 8:45 to go. 20-6 is your score. Washington leading Berkeley Springs. Frankie Amore keeps it himself, runs to the left. Has a couple people still blocking for him. Gets up to the outside. He cuts upfield now. Still another guy. Frankie Amore. Touchdown, Washington. He just kept going outside, and once he got to the sideline, cut upfield. Next thing you knew, he was in the end zone. 8:35 to go. 26-6 is your score. Washington leading Berkeley Springs. We have another encroachment penalty on the extra point by Berkeley Springs. That is twice this evening that Berkeley Springs has encroached during a extra point. 26-6 now Washington leads. Fourth touchdown of the night for Frankie Amore. It looks like because of the encroachment, it'll be another 2-point conversion attempt here for Washington High. Pump fake here for Amore. Rolling out. Chucks it into the end zone, and it'll be incomplete. So the 2-point conversion is no good. Score will remain 26-6. 8:35 to go here in the third. Washington up 20 over Berkeley Springs. So when we resume the third quarter here, it'll be Griffin Price on the kickoff for Washington. We've seen a lot of onside kicks here this evening. So Griffin Price on the kickoff here for Washington. Berkeley Springs getting set to return. Back is Peyton Thompson here on the near side and Evan Thompson on the far side. A lot of people up front here for Berkeley Springs. We'll see what Griffin Price decides to do. And here's the kick. It's a deep one. Evan Thompson on the return now as he catches it at the 10. Coming up the middle now, and he will be stopped there just shy of the 30-yard line. Max Sauer in there on the tackle for Washington. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Berkeley Springs with 8:28 to go here in the third. 26-6, Washington leads the Indians. Ball on the 28-yard line. Two wide receivers here on the near side. 10 seconds to go on the play clock. Barkley. Halfback toss here to Thompson. Flag on the play. Thompson still on the outside here. He will pick up a first down, but we have to wait and see what the flag is going to be there in the backfield. It looks like it's going to be a holding on Berkeley Springs. And that's exactly what it is. So another big play there by the Indians to start off a drive, negated by a holding penalty. So it'll be 1st and long here, 8:20 to go for Berkeley Springs. Ball marked on the 16-yard line for the Indians. Barkley in shotgun formation. It's a snap. Play action pass. Rolls out. Pass caught there on the far sideline by the Indians. It's like Tymir Ross in there on the catch, so that'll bring up second down. It's like he might have bobbled it or he was either bobbled or ruled out of bounds, so it'll bring up second down and long. Gavin Barkley here in shotgun formation. 2 receivers to each side of him. 1 running back in the backfield. Ball's bobbled. Still on the ground. Scooped up by Washington. Still running on his feet now, and he'll be tackled. Looks like it was Joseph Roble in there to recover. So a turnover by Berkeley Springs. Brings up a 1st and 10 for Washington as they lead 26-6 with 7:09 to go here in the third quarter. So 1st and 10, ball on the 16-yard line for Washington. Here's the snap. Coming out to his right is Amore. Amore got speed, cutting up the outside, into the end zone. Frankie Amore, 5th touchdown of the night, 7:01 to go. 32-6, here's your score. Washington, the Frankie Amore show tonight. Berkeley Springs has had no answers. (32-6). On to attempt the extra point now is Griffin Price. Kick is up. And the kick is good. So 7:01 to go here in the third. Washington now leading Berkeley Springs 33-6. Five straight possessions resulting in 5 straight touchdowns for Frankie Amore is being announced now. Griffin Price will be on to kick off here for Washington. Frankie Amore, a senior quarterback here from Washington. Ball falls off the tee here for Griffin Price. Back to return for the Indians is Tymir Ross and Evan Thompson. Griffin Price here. Set the kick. It's another short one. Will be recovered here by Berkeley Springs at the 35-yard line. Looks like it was recovered by Connor Duval. The 1st and 10 here for Berkeley Springs on the 35, 6:50 to go. 33-6 is your score. Barkley dropping back to pass. Finds space up the middle, and he will be sacked on the play. Steven Tritt in there on the sack for Washington. So that'll bring up 2nd and 12 for Berkeley Springs. Ball on the 33-yard line now. Berkeley Springs breaks the huddle now. 10 seconds to go on the play clock. 3 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. Berkeley in shotgun formation with a running back behind him. Here's the snap. Decides to keep it himself. Runs out the middle. He'll be tackled after gaining a couple yards. That'll bring up 3rd and 4. So speed option call there for Berkeley Springs. They decided to leave the quarterback and focus on the running back, and that'll help Berkeley Springs with a 3rd and 3. 5 minutes, 40 seconds to go here in the third. Washington leading 33-6 over the Indians.
Let's go!
Ball on the 42-yard line. Barkley, high snap. Pitches it to Peyton Thompson. Peyton Thompson around the outside now, and he will be stopped short, so that'll bring up 4th down to Berkeley Springs. Sharp in there on the tackle for Washington. Adam Sharp, a 6'6" junior from Washington. So that'll be 4th down. Thompson did gain a yard, so it'll be 4th and 2 here as we're at the 4:50 mark here in the third. Berkeley Springs is going to go for it. Berkeley down 27. 4 seconds on the play clock. Using that play action pass. Deep ball. Pass up, and it'll fall incomplete. Pass intended there for Tanner Ross. So that'll be a turnover on down. So Washington will get the ball here on Berkeley Springs side of the field. And let's see what Washington can do now, as it's been 5 straight possessions, resulting in 5 straight Frankie Amore touchdowns for them. First and 10 ball on the 43. Here's Frankie Amore now. He'll be tackled there by Peyton Thompson. So that'll bring up 2nd down after he gains about 5 yards. 4:20 to go here in the third. 33-6 is your score. Washington leading Berkeley Springs. Both teams break the huddle now. Frankie Amore in at quarterback. Running back to his right. Fullback. A tight end to his left. Handed it off here. Around the outside now. Here he goes. Joseph Robel in on the run. Breaks the tackle. Still cutting around the outside. Makes another man miss. Touchdown, Robel for Washington, but a flag was thrown right around the 5. So we'll wait to see what it was. Wide receiver sweep there. Something that Berkeley Springs struggled with last week. And it'll be a holding call on Washington, so no touchdown on this play. It'll still be 1st and 10 for Washington. Ball on the 14-yard line. 3:30 to go here in the third. Washington 33, Berkeley Springs 6.
All right, let's go.
Here's the snap. It's another run here to the outside. Will be tackled there by an Indian. Just shy of a 1st down. Looks like in there on the tackle was Gavin Barkley for Berkeley Springs. So 2nd and 5, ball on the 9-yard line now for Washington. Direct snap to the quarterback. Running to the right. Flag thrown at the line of scrimmage. Into the end zone goes Amore. But we have a flag right at the line of scrimmage. So Frankie Amore's 6th touchdown of the evening. Looks like it won't happen yet. So holding on Washington, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 14. 2:35 to go here in the third quarter. 33-6 is your score. Washington leading Berkeley Springs. Morey at quarterback, Tommy Wogan at running back. Snap to Wogan, handed off to Amore. And he'll be swallowed up after gaining a couple yards, so that'll bring up 3rd. And it looks like 10. Gavin Barkley in there on the tackle again for Berkeley Springs. A lot of defensive backs having to put their heads in there and make some tackles, as it's been all runs to the outside for Washington. 3rd and 10, ball on the 14. Minute 35 to go. Here's the snap. And Frankie Amore will be stopped short. That'll bring up 4th down, and it looks like it's going to be a field goal attempt here for Washington. Clock down to minute 15 now. It'll be 4th and 8. Ball on the 12, so it's going to be a 29-yard field goal attempt. 33-6 is the score. On the kick is Griffin Price. Morey on the hold. Down, kick is up. Kick is no good. Had the power, height, and distance, and it just went to the right. So 49.8 seconds to go, 33-6 the score remains. Berkeley Springs will now get the ball. First and 10 for Berkeley Springs. Ball on the 20-yard line here in the third quarter. Berkeley Springs trying to figure out what formation to be in. Play clock down to 10 seconds. Gavin Barkley dropping back to pass. Pump fakes, and he will be sacked on the play. In there for the sack was Stephen Pritt. Stephen Pritt coming in. I believe that was his 2nd sack here for the evening. So it's going to be 2nd and 15. The clock here at 15 seconds, but it's a second difference between the game clock and the play clock. 2nd and 15, ball on the 14. 33-6 is your score. Berkeley Springs needs to hurry up to get the play off. Sends a man in motion, and they do. It'll be a handoff up the middle here. It'll be tackled as the end of the third quarter horn sounds. So that'll bring up the fourth quarter. The score, 33-6, Washington leads. As we get ready to start here the fourth quarter, the score 33-6. Washington High School leads Berkeley Springs. Both teams seeking their first wins of the season. Berkeley Springs with the ball here. Down 27. It would be a big comeback if Berkeley Springs could do it. 3rd and 13 ball on the 17-yard line. Washington blitzing. Snap bobbled. And it looks like it's going to be recovered by Washington. So a turnover there. Ball recovered by Ethan Quigley. So it'll be 1st and goal for Washington now. $11:52 to go here in the fourth. Washington on the 5-yard line. Frankie Amore and Tommy Wogan, 2 seniors in the backfield now. Low snap. And it'll be swallowed up by Peyton Thompson, so that'll be a loss on the play. Peyton Thompson and Austin Patton in there on the tackle. So it'll be 2nd and goal now, 11:30 to go. Ball on the 7-yard line, so that was a 2-yard loss due to the low snap. 33-6 is your score. Morey in shotgun formation. Wogan to his right. Ball snapped. Running to his right now is Morey. He has all the blockers. And he will be untouched into the end zone. Touchdown, Frankie Amore, his 6th of the evening. 11:04 to go, 39-6. Washington leads Berkeley Springs. So we are now at a running clock here in the fourth quarter. Morey on to hold. Griffin Price on to attempt the extra point. Ball snapped, and we have an encroachment. Now the referees have to have a conversation about it. And they're going to say it's a false start this time on Washington. So Berkeley Springs will take it. It'll back them up a little bit. So just a longer extra point now. Still doable for Griffin Price. Price on to attempt. Here's the snap. Kick is up. And the extra point is good. So 10:15 to go here in the fourth. 40-6 is your score. Washington leads Berkeley Springs big. Everyone currently watching, make sure to subscribe to the page so you can be getting alerts whenever we go live throughout the season. Next game for Berkeley Springs will be home next week against Frankfort, so a big rivalry there between Berkeley Springs and Frankfort High School. Frankfort ranked currently in the top 10 by WV Metro News. Washington's next game will be at Kaiser next week. $10:15 to go here in the fourth. 40-6 is your score. Griffin Price on the kickoff here for Washington. Quick kick, just getting it off before the play clock. will be returned here by Evan Thompson. Thompson getting a couple of blocks, runs up the middle. He would be tackled at the 39-yard line, so a nice return there for Berkeley Springs. So it'll be 1st and 10 here for the Indians. 10:05 to go here in the fourth. Berkeley Springs down 34. Gavin Barkley in shotgun formation. 2 running backs there. And it looks like Berkeley Springs is confused, so they're going to have to call their first timeout of the second half. Timeout looks like we'll be over here now. Berkeley Springs coming back out. It's going to be 1st and 10. Ball on the 39-yard line. 9:50 to go in the fourth quarter. Berkeley Springs started with the lead here in the game, but after that it's been 40 uninsured points by Washington. Barkley in shotgun formation. Halfback toss around the outside now as Evan Thompson gets tripped up. He'll gain a couple yards as he's finally stopped there by Washington. Colton Childress in there on the stop, as well as Joseph Robo. It'll bring up 2nd and 7, ball on the 42-yard line. Evan Thompson now out of the game, and in at running back is Peyton Thompson. And it looks like a timeout will be called here. And that timeout's going to be on Washington. So 9:04 to go here in the fourth. 40-6, Washington leads Berkeley Springs. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining now. Thank you for everybody tuning in here on the BSHS Indian Sports page. Make sure if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel and tell everybody else where they're able to watch Berkeley Springs football throughout the season. The more the merrier. Next week, it's going to be a rivalry game against Frankfurt, so it should be a good one. Second and 7 now for Berkeley Springs. 2 wide receivers to each side. Gavin Barkley in shotgun formation. Peyton Thompson 3 yards behind him at running back. Barkley drops back to pass. Looks to his left. Decides to try to keep it himself, but he's going to be swallowed up by 2 Washington Patriots. In there, Stephen Pritt with another sack. So to bring up 3rd and 8. 8:35 to go here in the fourth. 40-6 is your score. Washington leads Berkeley Springs. Gavin Barkley gets the play call there from the far sideline, comes back into the huddle. Play clock already at 15 seconds. Barkley in shotgun formation. Ball snapped. Looking over to his left. Tries to pass to Tymir Ross. And pass interference looks like will be called. In there defending Tymir is Ethan McAdoo. So 8:02 to go here in the fourth quarter. 40-6 is the score. It'll be 1st and 10 for Berkeley Springs. So it looks like the ball will be placed at the 43-yard line as the clock now at 8 minutes to go here in the fourth. Barkley brings up a man in motion here. Takes the handoff, tosses it back to Peyton Thompson, and Peyton Thompson will be met in the backfield, but will lose a yard. Looked like he almost gained half a yard, but Zach Barton in on the tackle for Washington. That'll bring up 2nd and 11, 7:30 to go here in the fourth. Three wide receivers to the far side, one to the near side. Gavin Barkley in shotgun formation. Puts Peyton Thompson to his right now. Barkley dropping back the pass, rolling out. Throws it to Peyton Thompson, who catches it. Tries to make a man miss, but slips. The gain. What might be a yard. So Peyton Thompson slips. It looks like he just managed to get back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 3rd and 11 here for Berkeley Springs. Ball on the 44-yard line. 6:40 to go here in the fourth. Three wide receivers to the far side, one to the near side. Peyton Thompson to Gavin Barkley's left. Here's the snap from Barnard. Rolling out is Barkley. Trying to look downfield. And he will throw the pass, and it will be completed to Carlester Allen. So that'll bring up a 4th down for Berkeley Springs. Six minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. 40-6 is your score. Fourth and 7. Ball on the 40-yard line for Berkeley Springs. Three wide receivers here to the near side. Barkley dropping back the pass, looks to his left, throws it deep. It's going to be tipped up and incomplete pass intended for Tymir Ross. So turnover on downs, 5:30 to go here in the fourth. 40-6 is your score. Washington will get the ball now. Clock winding down here. 5:10 to go in the fourth. 1st and 10 for Washington. Man in motion. Ball snapped and bobbled. Falling on it. Looks like will be Amore, but a flag on the play as well. So 5 minutes to go exactly here on the clock. 40-6 is your score. Washington leading Berkeley Springs.
You can hide the Patriots,
Clock rolls here. It's going to be 2nd and long. Ball on the 31-yard line. 1st and 20 or 2nd and 20, it looks like, on the field. Ball snapped here. Another option play on the outside here. He finally swallowed up. In there on the run is Austin Sharp. So that'll bring up 3rd down. 4:20 to go here in the fourth. Looks like Washington will improve to 1-1 overall. Berkeley Springs will fall to 0-2. Hunter Ambrose in there on the tackle. Third and 20. Man in motion. Ball handed off now. Will be tackled here. In there on the stop is Austin Patton for Berkeley Springs. Ethan Cockrell in on the run for Washington. So that'll bring up 4th and long, 3:40 to go here in the 4th. So as both teams come out here to, I believe, punt the ball, make sure to subscribe here before the end of the broadcast so you can get an alert when we're live next week as Berkeley Springs takes on Frankfort High School. And here's the punt. It is a short one. It'll bounce here and go into the defensive side of Washington. So Berkeley Springs will get the ball at the 49-yard line. So 3:09 to go here in the 4th. Washington 40, Berkeley Springs 6. So 1st and 10 for the Indians. Ball on Washington's 49-yard line. 3 minutes to go here in the 4th. Berkeley Springs starter still out there. Ball snap to Gavin Barkley. Handoff here. We swallowed up there in the backfield. Evan Thompson in on the run. Tackled by Austin Sharp. So that'll bring up 2nd and 11. .220 to go. 2nd and 11. Ball right at midfield. Washington leading Berkeley Springs 40-6. 2nd and 11. Barkley in shotgun formation. Ball snapped. Hands it off to Peyton Thompson. Peyton Thompson going to the left on the outside now. Makes a couple people miss. And he will be stopped just shy of a 1st down. Minute 55 to go. That'll bring up 3rd down. And it looks like 2 yards. Jaden McCartney in on the tackle, sophomore for Washington. Play clock now at 15 as Berkeley Springs breaks the huddle. Minute 30 to go in the 4th. Berkeley Springs down 40-6 against Washington here in Charlestown, West Virginia. Ball snapped here. Dropping back the pass. It's a short one. It's going to be caught here by Sanchez, and he will be tackled. Antonio Sanchez in there with the catch, and that'll bring up a 1st and 10 for Berkeley Springs. A minute to go exactly here in the 4th. Berkeley Springs looks like we'll fall to 0-2, but they can still try to get a couple things here to leave on a positive note. 1st and 10, ball on the 36. Gavin Barkley in shotgun formation. 2 wide receivers to each side. Looking over to his sideline now. Sends Evan Thompson in motion. Hands it off to Thompson, who's on the outside now. Has a couple blocks going farther outside. And he will have a nice run there and pick up a 1st down as the clock stops at 26.2 seconds to reset the chains. 1st and 10 for Berkeley Springs. 40-6 is your score. Washington leading Berkeley Springs. Clock now running. It's under 20 here. Berkeley Springs still has to get set as both teams trying to sub. Looks like the Indians will call a timeout with 13 seconds to go. 40-6, Washington leads Berkeley Springs. Berkeley Springs takes Frankfort next week. Big rivalry game there at Berkeley Springs High. Kickoff is 7 p.m., so you can watch that game right here on the BSHS Indian Sports page. Make sure to subscribe so that when we are live, you can get an alert. It'll also be shared via social media. Make sure you share it as well. 1st and 10, ball on the 24. 13 seconds to go. 40-6 is your score. 3 wide receivers here to the near side, 1 to the far side. Gavin Barkley. Play action pass. Dropping back. Rolling out to this side now. Throws it towards the sideline, and it'll be incomplete as that pass was intended for Carlester Allen. Carlester Allen looks like was hurt there on the play as well. That's also going to end the game for the final score, unless they add time back on the clock. Carlester Allen, player currently down for Berkeley Springs. He was the intended receiver there on that last play. He's back up on his feet now and walking on his own power back to the sideline now, jogging back. So it is. That's going to be the final score. Washington wins 40-6 over Berkeley Springs. Make sure next week, everybody, to tune in as Berkeley Springs will take on Frankfurt. Again, final score, Washington 40, Berkeley Springs 6.